33 years of science and education with the collaboration of our hospital, our region, and the municipality of Vicenza. Why a critical care course in Vicenza? Well, not only because we probably coined together with John Kellum and Rinaldo Bellomo this term, but also because it's a beautiful city and I hope really you have the chance to visit a little bit of our architecture. I would like to briefly go with you through the last 4 decades of critical care nephrology. We started from a situation in which intensive care and nephrology were completely separated, and now they are actually area of very high interaction. So acute kidney injury is actually a new discipline defined critical care nephrology. We started with CABH with a very simple circuit. This was the first treatment in 1977, and then after that, few years later, we described in conjunction with a group in Florida the first hemodiafiltration in the world. This was the group of 1986. You see Dr. Ronco with more hair and less kilos here, but many other friends. And the same group actually met several years later in another meeting. From CABH we moved to CVVH. We had new technologies. We used the blood pumps, and we started with what we call the adoptive technology. We added more and more technology until we arrived at the bedside of the patient with what we call the Christmas tree. At that point, there was a need to develop a true machine for CRRT, and that was happened over the years when new machines were designed. And in fact, we moved also to veno-venous therapies using, this is my function. Anyway, we moved to new devices that were described in this spectacular supplement of Kidney International called Critical Care Nephrology. We had a few moments of celebration. You see here Professor La Greca, to which goes all my affection and esteem, of course, my former boss. But you can see some interesting faces. John Kellum here, for example, Rinaldo Bellomo, Tom Golter, and many others. CRRT-dedicated machines started to become the rule, and they became somehow so simple that even the intensivists could understand, which was, of course, a joke, but not so much because this preset loading allowed us to perform different treatments. And that machine developed different capabilities, different monitoring strategies, different usability skills, so that this machine has become over the years what we call the third generation of machines. And many of these machines actually passed by Vicenza either because we designed this, we conceived this, or we tested. You may see some colors that you're not familiar with, and this is because the number, the serial number of this machine is 001. Together with Rinaldo, we edited the first edition of Critical Care Nephrology book, and after many courses and many books on critical care nephrology, for which I have to acknowledge the support of Cardiac Publisher, we discovered that actually this machine can be more than kidney support therapy. It can be a multiple organ support therapy. And these machines today, available all over the world, are actually platforms. These platforms allow us to support the kidney, the heart, the lungs, the liver, patients with sepsis, and recently also the pediatric population, which was treated for the first time in the world with hemofiltration in Vicenza many years ago, thanks to these mini filters. Most recently, you must have heard about the Carpe Diem machine, something that we developed in conjunction with an Italian company, and it was actually a full success when we applied for the first time in the world in 2013 to a baby that was critically ill. Over the years, the book was enriched by a new editor, John Kellum, and the usual suspects actually are planning to do a new edition of this book. Many of our courses have been published over the years, and also we have done educational CDs. And now this year we have joined this educational effort with the International Society of Nephrology. In the website, you can actually find the information about our courses. Of course, we offer European and Italian CME credit, and I must say that all these scientific societies endorse this course because it has been considered high-quality education for many years. And who are the registrants up to 2 hours ago? 512 registrants from different countries, and you see half of them from Europe, but many others from Asia, Middle East, United States, and Australia. The faculty has always been our big resource, and the quality, the outstanding quality of the speakers of this course make it really successful. But of course, we have to thank all the sponsors that also make possible, not only just sponsoring the meeting, but especially providing unrestricted grants. Especially this year, we have 50 young specializing doctors that were registered for free to this course in order to invest in the information and knowledge of future. This place was also the place where ADKI was born, and you might be familiar with this meeting that started in my country house here, and we actually developed something that over the years has been called a rifle. This has been one of the major success, but also it has been published as one of the most quoted ever paper in critical care. And if you see the first 3 authors, you immediately understand that they are the usual suspect, or the 3 musketeers, as you can. We mostly achieved consensus in many things, especially, for example, on wearing the same T-shirt, but also on other important things like the definition of cardiorenal syndrome, which has been extremely controversial and difficult. In 2004, we gave birth to AKIN, the Network for Research, that actually today is joining ADKI in developing new trials, and doing these studies made possible the advancement of critical care nephrology, like the cardiorenal syndrome consensus. Again, more people with the same T-shirt. I'm particularly proud about this picture because half of these people are cardiologists, half are nephrologists intensivists, but there are 2 Roncos here. One is a nephrologist and the other is the cardiologist. So I am particularly proud of the cardiorenal syndrome in-house. And this consensus actually allowed to perform new studies, but also to start from common definitions, which is important. Many of these things have been discussed in a blog on YouTube that is called Cappuccino with Claudio Ronco. The idea is that in Italy, people go to the bar, order a cappuccino, discuss about politics, sports, maybe other things, drink the cappuccino, and run away. The same thing we do with this. It's a kind of journal club that lasts 2-3 minutes, and the idea is to stimulate young fellows to follow the international literature on critical care nephrology. But we have a new, as our director said before, this year we actually organized a meeting on nomenclature and terminology in continuous renal replacement therapy that we call the Carta of Vicenza. And many people signed this Carta after the meeting yesterday. The Carta says, we, the participants of the Vicenza 2015 Nomenclature Standardization Initiative, agree to make any possible effort to standardize the nomenclature of continuous renal replacement therapy and to homogenize its terminology in manuscripts, books, machine software, and data collection registries of the future. The initiative is designed to facilitate the comprehension of real meaning of each term, to make different papers comparable, to improve training in CRRT techniques, and enhance the usability of related equipment. And we were able to gather not only the experts and people from academic world, but all the companies that are today producing CRRT machines. Our wish is that one day transmembrane pressure will be called TMP all over the world, and not PTM, MTP, TPM, or whatever. So the idea is to harmonize the definition and make sure that we can increase safety, we can increase the accuracy and efficiency of therapy, to attain a shared language among all parties, including physicians, technicians, nurses, and engineers, and to uniform the research and data reporting to facilitate communication and technological process. This has been made possible by, let's say, the extreme flexibility and capability of our institution. Here you see the nephrology building in Vicenza, where we have an international environment with more than 80 fellows so far since 2004, representing all over the world, and these are the countries where the fellows are coming from. Today here we have many of the past fellows that came back to Vicenza to honor the meeting and to, let's say, share with us their recent success. The idea is to create a multidisciplinary environment with medicine, engineering, pharmacology, biology, economics, and we have a movie in the outside screen that shows you in 2 minutes what is the environment in our international institute. Our director was wishing that we could get more patients out of the hospital. One of the projects is the miniaturization to increase portability and possibly wearability of the artificial kidney, and this is what we have done. In the pathway to reduce the size of the device, we actually came up with the Carpe Diem machine for babies and neonates. But basically, the translational research is based on one simple concept. We are at the bedside of the patient. We try to learn what are the unmet clinical needs of our patients. At that point, we go upstairs in the lab, we try to find a solution for this problem, and then we make the stairs back to the floor of the patient to apply the solution that we have created. In many of the past editions, we have distributed international surveys. This year, we also have an international survey, which is extremely interesting, is about consent form and the possibility to develop trials informing correctly and transparently the patients on what are their rights and what they are doing when they participate in a prospective trial. So please fill the questionnaire. We have created the translation of the Guide of Vicenza, thanks to my friend Angelo Colla, who has published a wonderful Guide of Vicenza. We have translated this into English, and it will be given to you if you turn in the questionnaire. Of course, we need to thank our secretariat, and especially Anna and Marta, for making all this possible and taking many headaches out of me and producing a wonderful structure here. We also have to thank the Ente Fiera, because you must have seen they have completely renovated the environment here. And also, I must absolutely thank my wonderful team, because without a team like my team, nothing can be done, and nobody can ever work alone in this case.